Military officials are responding to reports of an active shooter at the Naval Medical Center in Balboa Park. The National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the San Joaquin Valley earlier this morning. It just ended about an hour ago. After a very successful debut season last year, everyone's new favorite secret agent is back for round two.
You can see water trails that start at the top of the mountain and then flows down the entire side onto the freeway, spilling out, and you can see lane closed signs that still remain in place.
Super Bowl Sunday is a little over a week away, but local drivers from a ride-sharing company are already preparing for a busy day. If you are headed out the door this morning, your commute plans might include a detour. 23 ABC's Tweelon Nugent joins us live now from the Highway 99 construction site with the very latest. Good morning, Tweelon.
Police just told me that a pedestrian crossing 24th Street at Oak has died.
At 23 ABC's Tweelon Nugent, there she is right now. You can see her hair just blowing in the wind, and she's got the latest.
Yes, honey.
They will be able to see 5 planets together at once, covering the world just before dawn tomorrow.
These solar panels right here, they actually take up over 660,000 acres, and that is enough to power over 25,000 houses a year, which in turn will improve air quality as well. 4 neighbors living here say just this week, a burglar broke into their cars, stole the clicker to their garages and this front gate, giving him easy access to return.
A high-speed chase through Los Angeles, nothing new. Unfortunately, this one does end with a major sigh of relief, not from police though. The driver that they were chasing.
Bakersfield Adult School's welding class right now, and as you can see behind me, some explosive action going on. An update from the chief, he did tell me that 2 women actually had to jump out of a 2nd-story window to escape that fire. Mike and Aaron, we're at the intersection of Norwalk Street and Cecil Avenue right now. We are in front of Delano High School. You are looking eastbound on Cecil right now. Cecil's blocked off from Norwalk Street to Princeton Street.
Good morning, Kern County. Thanks for watching 23 ABC News at 11 a.m. I'm Lindsey Adams. We do have some breaking news this morning out of San Diego. Military officials are responding to reports of an active shooter at the Naval Medical Center in Balboa Park. 23 ABC's James Johnson is live in the newsroom now with the very latest. James, thank you. The hunt continues this morning for an armed suspect in a bizarre robbery situation in northeast Bakersfield. Police officials say the suspect walked into the Dollar Tree on Haley and Columbus Streets. Time now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk for a first look at your Kerncast 23. Good morning, Elena. Thank you. Lawmakers say the state prison system is spending too much money even after the inmate population dropped by about 30,000 in recent years. The Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation says the best way to reduce state spending on prisons is to shut some of them down. As the El Nino season approaches, California Highway Patrol officers want you to stay safe on our local roadways. I took a trip to our major roadways in Kern County that are susceptible to inclement weather and found out what kind of hazards to be on the lookout for and how to avoid them.
So far, we know of no injuries.
Any roadway here in our county has a potential for tragedy.
In the past month, Mother Nature's been unleashing her fury on our local roadways, from mudslides engulfing the 58,
cars start floating down the road,
multi-car pileups jamming the 99,
See your cars banging and banging and banging,
to boulders crashing onto the 178.
big as a house.
The 5 is especially susceptible to our wrath: snowfall, mudslides, and water, which can cause drivers to hydroplane.
Slamming on their brakes, they're going to lose control of their vehicle. We want them to gradually decelerate.
So with torrential downpours, you can see water trails that start at the top of the mountain and then flows down the entire side onto the freeway, spilling out, and you can see lane closed signs that still remain in place. And this is the other side of the freeway where the mud has spilled over onto. You can see right now it is still fresh and extremely sticky. So as CHP was saying, it's best to be prepared for any situation. The 58 near Tehachapi may have seen the worst damage so far this year.
Over 100 vehicles, big rigs and cars, tour buses completely stuck. We had some that were completely submerged in the mud as well.
I hit a spot that my car just sank down off in.
First time I've ever seen that in my 17-year career.
Between now and April, roadways that lead into higher elevations, such as the 166 near Maricopa and to the north of 33, are prone to flooding and snow closures.
Potential for closing any roadway because of whether it's because of water, because of dust.
Which is what caused the 18-car pileup on the 99 towards the Grapevine, as low visibility dust storms are more frequent in the southern region of Kern County.
Never seen the dirt get that bad that quick. It just came out of nowhere.
If you can avoid stopping on the freeway, especially during fog season, especially during zero visibility, because that's coming. Be alert, watch your rearview mirror, watch out for other vehicles that could possibly come into the scene as well.
On the 178 into the Kern River Canyon, CHP says to take it slow and be mindful of the boulders and the rocks that come down onto the roadway, especially during winter.
Know the roadway conditions prior to leaving the Lake Isabella area or even the Bakersfield area if you're traveling the canyon.
Lindsey Adams, 23 ABC.
And Highway Patrol officers mention if you do encounter any emergencies on the road, such as boulders or inclement weather, you are encouraged to pull over and call 911. For the very latest on weather and road conditions, be sure to download our free 23 ABC mobile and tablet apps or go to our website at turnto23.com. It's all part of 23 ABC being your official El Nino season station. Thousands of those alerts were sent out countywide to help find that missing man with Alzheimer's. And I spoke with his wife and his daughter, who both tell me he had wandered 7 miles from where he originally went missing.
I was scared, very scared, because he has Alzheimer's and I knew he wouldn't be able to find his way back.
Christy and her husband Kirk were at a friend's baby shower in an unfamiliar neighborhood when he wandered off. She immediately notified authorities, who sent out a Ready Kern emergency alert.
Received a kind of an Amber Alert thing, and was it true? Was Kirk lost?
Please make sure your neighbors are alerted.
The alert went out to over 40,000 people in a 5-mile radius of the neighborhood he went missing in. It was sent in the form of voice message, text, and email.
Critical missing persons, abductions, kidnappings, things that constitute some sort of emergency where there's a danger to life.
Authorities were able to locate Kirk after the alert had been issued, and they spotted him in a CarMax parking lot 7 miles away from where he originally wandered off.
I couldn't get out of the car fast enough and run over to him and hug him.
And if you want to sign up or opt out of using Ready Kern, visit kerncountyfire.org. And emergency responders also tell me they send out about 10 of those alerts every month. Back to you guys. I know, enjoying the lovely weekend, the wild weather. In fact, 23 ABC's Tweelon Nugent is live in Tehachapi, just one of the places where wind gusts can reach up to 55 miles per hour this weekend. Tweelon, how's it looking up there now? Well, to help Flint recover from their toxic water crisis, the state Senate approved $28 million to help out citizens. $4 million of that money will be used to treat children affected by lead poisoning. Well, the chairman of California's high-speed rail project says it could take a little longer than expected. The project is already 2 years behind schedule. Chairman Dan Richard gave state legislators the update Thursday. The first leg of the train requires 300 miles of track, 6 stations, is supposed to be ready by 2022. But engineers and geologists say that's not enough time to dig tunnels through 36 miles of mountains and build the electrical systems as well. Construction began last year and is estimated to cost a staggering $68 billion. And critics of the high-speed rail project are calling it a money pit. Now, a new ballot initiative would let California voters decide if it's time to stop funding the multi-billion-dollar project and instead invest in water storage. The initiative would also take $2.7 billion from a water bond measure for these projects. Super Bowl Sunday is a little over a week away, but local drivers from a ride-sharing company are already preparing for a busy day. On Super Bowl Sunday here in California, the chances of being involved in an alcohol-related crash is 77% higher than on any regular day. Time now to take a look at all the fun events and the happenings going on today around Kern County. First of all, if you check out the Kern County Raceway Park, today they are hosting their 2016 Winter Series on the dirt track, featuring modifieds, B-mods, American hobby stocks, and mini dwarf racers. The racing begins at noon and tickets range from $7 to $10. Kern County Raceway Park is located at 13500 Raceway Boulevard. Or maybe you have an actor in the family. Well, there is a perfect event for them this weekend as the Rasmussen Senior Center hosting auditions for Beauty and the Beast. For kids in kindergarten to grade 6, auditions start at 9 a.m., grades 7 to 12 at 1 p.m. Performances will begin in April and will be held at East Bakersfield High School. The Senior Center is located at 115 East Roberts Lane. And if you're looking for locally grown fruits and veggies, check out the Farmers Market today at the Golden State Mall on F Street. They have a variety of farm fresh items, including jams, juices, baked goods, and more. There's also a swap meet with arts and crafts as well, and today's farmers market runs from 8 a.m. until noon. If you have an event you'd like us to showcase during our What's Happening segment, just send us an email to events@kero.com. Well, thousands of people are heading to Levi Stadium for the Super Bowl, but the demand for tickets far exceeds the supply, prompting phony ticket scams. Attorney General Kamala Harris advises people purchasing tickets to do so through sites like NFL.com.
To do at home,
yes.
But it's going to be pretty scary out there starting tomorrow.
Definitely. And, you know, Tweelon, she's looking like America's next top model. Huh, up in Tehachapi with the hair. Oh yeah, you know we would.
Be proud. She would be.
Definitely. At 23 ABC's Trula Nugent, there she is right now. You could see her hair just blowing in the wind, and she's got the latest.
Yes,
Ooh,
honey.
Work
Yes.
it, work it, girl. Work it, girl. How's it looking, girl?
Right? Yeah, guys.
Oh, it's so windy up there. Her signal's cutting out. So don't forget to stick with 23 ABC News as we track the weather and conditions all weekend. We'll have updates on our free mobile and tablet apps as well as on our website, turn23.com. It's all part of 23 ABC News being your official El Nino season station. Coming up, want to be a holy roller? Well, we'll show you how you could win the Pontiff's shuttle car coming up. Good morning, Kern County. Thanks for watching 23 ABC News at 11 a.m. I'm Lindsey Adams. Well, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the San Joaquin Valley earlier this morning. It just ended about an hour ago, and visibility was impacted earlier to less than 500 feet in some places. Now, this caused for some hazardous driving conditions with a slow morning commute. You could just see the thickness. Surprisingly enough, there was only one school delay this morning at the Elk Hills district. So we can expect more fog tomorrow morning. Well, that's the big question. Let's check in now with Kelly Johnson, who has a look at what we can look forward to. Kelly. And we're now in the middle of El Nino season. The Kern County Fire Department is gearing up to make sure they're prepared for any situation stemming from possible storms and flooding. County fire crews have received shipments of new gear to be spread throughout Kern County. Students are back in school this morning following a string of threats nationally and right here in Kern County. More than 30 schools were placed on lockdown across the country yesterday. At least 26 of those in New Jersey, and the calls were made through a robotic voice. The numbers were traced back to Bakersfield. 3 schools were locked down locally. It's still unclear if the local lockdowns were related to those nationwide, but the FBI says they are investigating. The man who was gunned down in Southwest Bakersfield over the weekend has now been identified, and 21-year-old Edward Charles Fleming was shot to death on the 3000 block of Whitley near a Laurel Glen Elementary School and Park. Caught on camera, an East Bakersfield liquor store is robbed, and now sheriff's investigators need your help to catch the crooks. Deputies say this man, along with 2 other masked suspects, robbed the Country Corner Liquors on Morning Drive at gunpoint back on December 16th. This morning, 2 people convicted in the death of a Wofford Heights man are scheduled to be sentenced. 28-year-old Thomas Ertz and 34-year-old Joe Noble pleaded no contest in December in connection to the shooting death of Carl Woolwine. Monster trucks all around are invading the Rabobank Arena this weekend in Bakersfield. The Monster X Tour is back again this year. We're continuing to cover breaking news out of Farmersville, Texas, just northeast of Dallas. This is a live look from the scene where a fire truck ran into a Dairy Queen after the driver lost control. Witnesses say there were several people inside the business at the time of the crash. Right now, there have been 2 injuries reported, including the driver of the fire truck and a Dairy Queen worker. This morning, a picture of a bride and her dog continues to make the rounds on social media. And this is a picture of Valerie Parrott and her medical alert service dog, Bella. Valerie suffers from panic disorders and migraines. Bella helps by alerting minutes before something happens. A popular fantasy drama on television has become a very real part of one school's curriculum. Virginia Tech's Religion and Culture Department recently offered a course on the popular HBO show Game of Thrones, and students are required to watch Game of Thrones. But the class professor, Matthew Gabriel, says the course is much more than TV. He says he wants students to explore why fantasy is so often tied to the history of Middle Ages. Up next, we'll have on Let's Check Your Current Cast 23. Stay tuned.